So welcome, Luke.
All right, are you ready for some word salad, which is largely constitutes our legal system? Sound interesting? Everybody ready to hear about this? Okay.
You're not loud enough.
Oh, okay. That's better, right? Okay. All right. So I'm a civil rights attorney. I sue the cops, and I sue other people. This presentation is meant to educate you generally, give you a little toolkit to use when you encounter the police. If you have any questions, talk to a lawyer, because it's important stuff. The upside of cops, the nature of the job is indefinite and difficult. They do it so you don't have to. There are a lot of asshole criminals out there that you don't have to deal with because the cops do. Are all cops bad? Oh no! No, generalizing about the cops is as stupid as it is about any other large group of people. Good cops are heroes, bad cops are villains. They're dealing with an incredibly difficult system. There are 300,000 federal regulations that can be enforced criminally. This is on top of state and federal criminal codes, which contains thousands of offenses, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. How many of those laws do you know? If you encounter the cops, unless the cop knows you personally, you could be anybody to the cop, an axe murderer. You need to stay calm, no sudden or threatening movements, comply with commands, stop when they tell you to. Resisting or evading arrest, whether it's justified or not, could cost you your life, so don't risk it. When can the cops legally stop you? When they have a reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot, supported by specific and articulatable facts. Now, that's pretty vague. It basically means they have to have a good faith belief that you've committed a crime. When are you in custody? When you're not free to leave. And it's okay to ask if you're free to leave. If they say no, don't try and leave. It's generally a very, very bad idea. Do you have to identify yourself if the cops stop you? Yes. In a very recent Supreme Court decision, a Nevada case actually, the Supreme Court decided that Nevada's law requiring suspects to identify themselves is constitutional. Do not refuse to identify yourself to a cop. Can the cops lie to you? Yes. They can, and some will if they think it'll make you confess to something. A typical tactic is where there's two suspects, they'll put you in separate rooms, they'll tell you different stories to try and get you to say inconsistent things. Are you required to speak to the cops? No. Beyond identifying yourself, you have the Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and it's probably the best defense you have when dealing with the police. It's the one remaining constitutional right that's still super strong. When can the cops search you or your things generally? When you're arrested, with a warrant from a judge, with your consent, when the cops believe that you are armed and dangerous. That isn't exhaustive, but it gives you a general idea of when they're allowed to. Do you have to invoke your right to remain silent? Yes, you can't just remain silent. You have to use the magic words. I exercise my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and I want to talk to my attorney. Those words can literally save your life. Shut the fuck up. A large number of criminal convictions are secured by prosecutors as a result of stupid things people say during the course of their arrest. An arrest is not the time to show off your constitutional law knowledge. Talking generally exacerbates the problem, so shut up. When can the cops arrest you? When they have probable cause based on the totality of the circumstances to believe that you have committed a crime. It doesn't mean they have to be certain. It's a pretty loose standard. They don't have to be sure. Should you argue with the cops? Definitely not. Again, shut the fuck up and wait for your opportunity to argue your case before a judge through your lawyer. Anything you say can and will be used against you. They tell you that for a reason, because it works for them. When must the cops stop asking you questions? Generally when you're in custody, when you evoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and ask to speak to your lawyer. That's why those words are so important, because if they continue to interrogate you after you say that, a judge may very well rule that any evidence they derive from that will be excluded. What are your chances at trial? Not good. 91% of defendants in felony cases are terminated as a result of a guilty plea, 6 were dismissed, and only 3% received a trial. Your odds are very, very low if you actually go to court. This is a chart that shows prisoners and victimization rates per country. The land of the free. Okay? Consider that when you talk to the cops. It's a Stanley Milgram world out there. This is my favorite science experiment. It measured the willingness of participants to obey authority when instructed to perform acts conflicting with their personal conscience. And about 65%, this is my interpretation, of people around you would kill you if they had the chance or were directed to by someone in a position of authority. Those people are on juries. Have compassion and empathy for good cops. They can save your life. Don't give bad cops an excuse to ruin your life. Place blame where it lies in low-life politicians. And check out the ACLU's website on how to talk to the cops, because it can save your life.